Disappointment is the most powerful emotion we have in our arsenal, and the most important thing for us to learn about the people we're trying to reach. And I go back many years ago, and it kind of felt like deja vu the past couple of weeks, but I did a lot of work for a certain oil company, not the one that's famous now, but the one that was famous then. And it also involved a body of water. And it also involved oil. That old saying, you can't mix oil and water, applies in Louisiana and Alaska. And this unfortunate situation occurred and all this oil was dumped. Well, that oil company had decided that same month to send a survey to all of its employees, what we would now call an engagement survey. In those days, we called it a satisfaction survey, because we believed that if people were satisfied, they'd work harder. And so if you can imagine, on that Saturday, 90,000 people went to their post mailboxes, because this is pre-internet, we had to mail things in those archaic pieces of paper called envelopes with a stamp. And they went to the mailbox and they pulled out the piece of paper, and there's this survey, please complete. And 90,000 people turned on the television as they're completing their surveys to see their company dumping all this oil in Alaska. That survey got a 97% return rate. And I never forget the day that I was at work and the post office called using that other antiquated device, the telephone, and they said, Mr. Schumann, you have mail. It was kind of the precursor to AOL, you got mail. And I was very excited. I said, well, I know I have mail. And they said, no, you don't understand. There are 3 van trucks, 18-wheel trucks downstairs with your mail. And we got 90-whatever-thousand of these back. And people wrote pages and pages of their feelings about how their reactions and the disappointment they felt watching their company destroy this beautiful part of the world. We had, in that one situation, the most powerful thing that that company could ever have, which is total insight into what would disappoint their people. For the next year, I didn't do anything except go to meetings and talk about what we learned from this survey. The power of understanding, of having that deep insight into people, and how people become disappointed, and how leaders disappoint. And what was fascinating about it is, and sometimes the results and what we hear from people are timeless, it wasn't the accident that disappointed. It was the fact that people couldn't find their leaders. It was the fact that people couldn't believe their leaders. It was the fact that people couldn't feel that they were having the opportunity to contribute.